I always thought I had seen it all on the roads, but that rainy night in rural Kansas proved me wrong. Sometimes the real danger isn't what you can see, but what you can't explain. In the middle of the road, lit only by my headlights, I saw a figure standing by the shoulder. It was a woman, her clothes soaked, waving as if asking for help. But what happened next, no one could explain. I slowed down, trying to make sense of the scene. There was no broken down car, no luggage, nothing to justify her being there. Just that woman, standing still, staring at me. And that's when everything began to spiral out of control. For a moment, I thought about stopping, but something felt terribly wrong. My instinct told me to keep driving. And you? Would you risk stopping to help? Or would you speed up without looking back? As I got closer, the headlights lit up her face. But there was no expression at all. It was like staring at someone already lifeless. And then, in the blink of an eye, the woman disappeared, gone from the road as if she had never been there. You think the worst had already happened? No, it was only the beginning. I pressed harder on the gas, my hands sweating on the wheel. I tried to convince myself I had imagined it, that it was just the rain or exhaustion playing tricks. But deep down, I knew it wasn't. A few minutes later, there she was again, up ahead, on the shoulder, wearing the same soaked clothes, in the same position, waving at me. And this is where everything changes. My heart raced. How could she be there, miles later, in the exact same state? There was no way she could have gotten ahead of me. I drove past her without stopping, praying it would be the last time. But it felt like the road would never end. And you? Have you ever lived through a moment where logic simply doesn't apply? I kept driving, avoiding the rearview mirror. The rain was pouring, and every shadow seemed to take shape. All I could think about was getting out of that stretch as fast as possible. That's when I noticed something on the asphalt a few yards ahead. Soaked clothes, the same ones the woman was wearing, lying in the middle of the road. I slowed down, but I didn't stop. It felt more like a warning than a coincidence. If it were you, would you have the courage to step out of the truck and check? I kept going in silence until I finally saw a sign for the next town. It was like crossing an invisible border. Beyond that point, I didn't see anything strange, just rain and wet pavement. But the memory of those apparitions never left my mind. It felt like the end of the story. But in truth, it was only the beginning. Since that night, I've never been able to drive calmly on deserted roads again. Whenever I see someone standing on the shoulder, I think twice before slowing down. And to this day, I still wonder, who was that woman? And why did she always appear ahead of me on the road? In the end, no one believed what I saw. And the one detail that was never answered was the most terrifying of all.
Thank you so much for your company. If this story kept you hooked, don't forget to click on the card to watch the next story.